Hello, welcome to my channel Vadi's Tech Space. I'm Vadi, and in today's video, let's learn how to build a RAG chatbot with Azure AI Search, Azure OpenAI, and Bot Services. Let's get started. I am in Azure portal now, so I want to show you the resources which I have that will be used in my bot application. So the first resource is AI search. Okay, AI search resource. And the AI search resource has a index here. Okay, it, I have an index here in which the data is vectorized. To show you the sample, what I can do is that I can use the search explorer of uh, AI search to see the quick results here. As you see, I have some vectorized data here along with some other details. Now, this is my AI search, and I have a Azure OpenAI resource. Okay, in the Azure OpenAI resource, if I go to the Azure OpenAI Studio, I have a couple of deployments here. One of the deployments are I have a text embedding model deployed and a chat completion model GPT-4 deployed here, which we'll be using in our bot. Okay, so from the AI unified central location, later we are going to go and create a bot service here. Okay, so but now what we are going to do is that let's go to the code, Visual Studio Code, and I will show you my project. This is my bot framework project. I have used the EchoBot project template to create this project. So if you don't have EchoBot bot project templates, you can go to the extensions in your Visual Studio, click on Manage Extensions. You can search for bot here. So once you get the bot here, results, you can go ahead and install. I have already installed this, so I just want to show you. Okay, so now what we can, let's go to the code here. All right, so this is my bot project, and in this bot project I want to show you a main activity handler. Under the bots you have EchoBot. In the EchoBot you see this method on message activity async. This is the bot's main handler designed to handle incoming message activities from the users. Okay, so in this I have written some code here. Some of the parameters which you need to understand is the turn context here, right? This provides the context for the current turn of conversations here. Okay, this includes details about the incoming messages and methods for sending the responses. Okay, this and the cancellation token, this is used to cancel the operation, for the better resource management and responsiveness. You can use this. Now coming to the code, here I have a project called library called AI Search Service, and AI Search Service has classes for perform AI search and also Azure OpenAI search. So now I will go to that class. I will go to that library and explain you those classes. Now in this, what at a high level I want to explain what I'm doing here. Here I have a app settings in which I have these parameters that I'm going to replace and fill while for deployment. Now these are like nothing but my AI search endpoints, Azure OpenAI endpoints, and text embedding endpoint. I have kept it separate here because sometimes chat completion might be deployed in some other instance and text embedding might be in some other Azure OpenAI resource. Hence, I kept it redundant here too. Okay, so now I'll go to the bot message activity handler here. Here, I fill the uh, I read the JSON app settings.json and fill the model here. So you don't need to do that for every message. You can maintain a bot state. Once you understand the bot framework, you can easily implement that. And for this example, I have kept it, I'm reading it for every message. And what I do is that based on the query I receive, I'm going to send it to my AI search class to perform a vector search. Once I get the result from the AI search, I'm going to give it to the Azure OpenAI to perform the response. So I give it to OpenAI to ensure that the answers are contextually relevant and accurate here. Okay. So once the response from the AI search is generated, again the response is the Azure OpenAI generates the response from the content given by me. That is nothing but the search results here. Okay, and the response is sent back to the user. So this is what the code here is done. Okay, so now let's go to the library here. In the library, I have a vector search here. Okay, so in this library, I have two packages. One is a AI.openai and search.documents, which using which we can query the AI search. And here in the vector AI search, what I have is that I'm getting the whatever the query is entered, I am converting that into a vector. I'm vectorizing the data. I'm vectorizing the data here by calling the text embedding model of the Azure OpenAI. The vectorized query, I'm keeping it and I'm going to send it to the for the search. Before that, I have some filters. Okay, if you have some metadata or some data on which you want to filter, you can add it and you can create filters. And there is a specific syntax for this, and it's you. And based on that, I'm saying that okay, if repository is sent, I'm going to filter my result search based on this repository, and also if I've given a file name, I'm going to add that file name also and further narrow down the search. Now, once I have the search results, once I have the search filter, I create the search options and I'm going to say that, okay, what are the fields I need, my filter that I need to set. Okay, once the options are ready, I go to the vector search, instantiate the vector search, and in that I give the query. This is nothing but the vectorized query. Okay, and then I'm going to say I'm going to set the KNN as 3 here. Okay, and the field which has the vector content is the text vector, and I'm going to say that it has to be exhaustive. So it has to be exhaustive here. Now, based on this vector search, I perform the search, and whatever results I get, I am iterating and sending it back to the caller, which is the echo bot here. Now here I have the vectorized results. Now once the results are here, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to instantiate the Azure OpenAI search and go call this method. Okay, this method takes the query and the data. Query is a user asked, user, whatever the user has asked, and data is the answer. So here, this is the data is the results from the AI search. Now, here, I'm going to say that I'm going to create a chat completion class here, and then in the list of chat messages, as a system message, I'm going to say that okay, this is a data, and based on this data, I have a I have a query which was asked by the user. Now give me the generated response out of it. Okay, because the AI search response will be huge, so this will contextualize and it will generate a good response to the user. So there is also, I think it's still work in progress, but Azure OpenAI has add search data source where you can directly the uh, add the AI search in it. Again, I had to add the pragmas, and also I didn't want to show that in this example. Okay, but you do have a class where you can directly uh, integrate the search, AI search in chat completion. Now, the result is returned back, and whatever the result is returned back, that is sent back to the user. This is what the code is. Now, what we are going to do is that we are going to test this application locally. So before we deploy it on Azure and create a bot services and deploy it on Azure, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to install a bot emulator and I will run this locally and test it in the bot emulator. Of course, before that, I need to replace all this. Uh, I'm going to replace these endpoints here. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go here and AI search, click on the AI search, click on the take the endpoint here. I'm going to replace this and I have keys. So I have a query key here. So I'm going to use the query key instead of the admin key. I'm going to copy that and I'm going to use that. AI search index. AI search index is the my index which I have. So the name is my index. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to replace it here. All right. Next is my chat completion model. This is the embedding model. So chat completion model. Luckily, I have both the models in the same instance, which is good. So let me go to the endpoint. This is my OpenAI, Azure OpenAI resource. I'm going to copy the endpoint here. Okay, I'm going to change, and this is the same here. All right, and I'll copy the key, which is also the same here as well. Okay, and finally, if you go to the Azure OpenAI Studio here, I have these two models. So I'm going to, for the embedding model, I'm going to pick the name here and replace it here for the embedding model. And for the chat completion, I will take here and I'm going to say it is GPT-4. All right. So now this is completed. Now we will launch the bot emulator and test it. Let's go to Chrome here. Okay. I'm going to search for bot framework emulator. Okay. So once you do this, you can go to the GitHub and you can find the uh, download here. Okay. So I have already installed bot emulator, within a bot framework emulator here. So I'm going to open that. Okay. It's just setting up. It's installing actually. So let me install this and come back. The bot framework got installed. So let me open the emulator here. Okay. So while the bot emulator is opening, we need to run this bot, okay, in the debug mode. So once I run the bot, I get this, okay. I also have the bot emulator open. So now, as it says, you can test your bot in bot emulator by connecting this. I'm going to copy this URL, okay, and I'm going to click on paste it here and connect. So I get a welcome, hello and welcome. This is coming from my bot. If you go to the Echo bot, uh, there is a hello and welcome. Members are added. So this is where the message is coming from. Okay, the hello and welcome. Let's have a search here. So let me put a debug point here so that you can understand what is happening. Okay, so this is the method where it comes whenever a message is sent by the user. So I'm going to say how to use AI search with LLM. Okay, I'm going to click on. So as you see, you get it here. So now the sequence of steps. Now I get the results back. Okay, so once I get the results back, if you see, I have results here. Okay, Now, based on these results, I'm going to send it to the OpenAI here. Okay. And whatever results I get back, this is how it is structured. So now that is sent back to the user. So that's how it reaches to the bot. So this means that our bot is working fine. So once we have searched and tested, we are satisfied, we will go ahead and deploy it. So you need to deploy this as a app service, in Azure, and then you need to create a bot service, and you need to do some configuration, which we are going to do. But once you create the bot service and before you deploy this app, in the config there are few parameters which you need to update. Let us do that next. I am in the Azure portal now. Let's create okay, let's see the search box. Let's say Azure Bot. Under the marketplace, you'll find Azure Bot. Let's click on that. I'm going to say AI Search Bot as a bot handle, and I'm going to select a AI Search. Global is fine. Pricing tab, free and standard. Standard is fine. The type of app, is it a multi-tenant or a single tenant or user assigned? So I'm going to leave it as multi-tenant here. So creation type, it's asking whether you want me to create a new Microsoft App ID. So a application needs to be registered. You need to create an application, and then that app ID along with the secret needs to be given to the bot to work. So I'm going to say that if you have an existing app registration, you can go ahead and you can give the app ID. Uh, Otherwise, you can leave it as is. We can leave with the create new Microsoft App ID here. Now I'm going to click on next, and I'm going to click on next. And once it gets validated, I am going to click on create. So this creates the Azure bot. My Azure bot has been created. I go to the resource. In the resource, under the settings, go to the configuration, and you see the Microsoft App ID here. So you click on this, it's this is nothing but, if I go to the app registrations, okay, if I go to the app registrations and see search for this app, I'm going to find that. All right. So let's go to the app registrations now. Okay. App registrations, app registrations, and in that, if I search for this, in the all the applications, if I search for this, I have, based on the ID, I get a AI search bot, and this is the application which it gets created. Now it says manage password. So here I need to create a secret. So what I need to do is that when I create a secret here, I'm going to copy. I want to copy this, because once you go out of the screen, you will lose it. It's okay if you don't copy, you can come back and create a new one as well. So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it somewhere so that I can use it later. Okay. So this is good. So now um, I go to the AI search bot. Bot is created in the configuration. I see everything. I created a secret for that application. Now everything is good. Now you need to give the endpoint. So the endpoint here, to give the endpoint, you need to first deploy your chatbot to any publicly accessible place. For example, I want to deploy it in app services, so that I have the URL, and I'm going to put that URL in here. Okay, so let's do that. I'm in my Visual Studio. So now what I'm going to do is that in my bot project, I click on app settings. Here, as you see, you have this Microsoft app type, app ID, password, and tenant ID. So this needs to be filled. Okay, so the point to note here is that when this is filled and you try using the bot emulator, it will not work. at least for me, it did not work. So I removed this and tested it locally. And while I have to publish it, I'm going to fill this and publish it. That's what I usually do. So now I go to the bot framework here, right? This is my AI search bot. Under the setting, I go to the configuration. And the configuration, I see all this details. So now I'm going to copy this app ID. Okay. I'm going to replace it in the app ID here. And the secret which I have created, I have copied somewhere. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to add it here. Now, if you recollect, we have set it as multi-tenant here. So I'm going to take this and put it here, of course, without the space. Okay. The app type is multi-tenant, app ID, password, and you don't need a tenant ID if it is a multi-tenant. Now we are good with this. Now the next step is let's go ahead and publish it. So, okay, I'm going to click on next, Windows service, next. Here, I don't have anything, so I'm going to create this. So let me pick a place where, okay, all are fine. So I'm going to say a search bot. Okay, bot app. I'm going to click on create and let's wait for this to get created. All right. So once this is created, I'm going to publish it and then take the URL and update it in the bot. The profile is ready and I'm going to click on finish. Now let's create the profile here and now trigger the publish. Okay. So I'm going to click on publish and wait till this get completed. The bot got published successfully. Okay. And I have the URL. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is that this is the bot which got published. So I'm going to take this URL here and I'll go to my Azure bot and in the messaging endpoint, I'm going to have this slash API slash messages. Okay. You remember when we tried this in the bot framework emulator, we had localhost colon port slash APIs slash messages. Again, because this is hosted here, so I'm going to say API slash messages here. So this should be the URL. So now we are good with the configuration part. Now, okay, this has been configured. Great. Now we can test it in web chat. So if it works here, it will work everywhere. So in here, uh, let's see if we are, yep, I can say let do a search here. Okay, what is AI search? I'm going to give. So let's see if it works. Okay, great. All right. So this is working fine. So now what we can do is that uh, we can, in the next step, we will create a HTML chat client, and in that we will use something called as a direct client channel. So there are various channels in Azure Bot. So with very minimal configuration, you can have your chat working everywhere. Like for example, if you want to add it in Teams, then there are some configurations which you need to do, and you can go ahead and you can deploy it in Team as well. So this is very powerful. You can explore these channels. So direct line is something which we will be using in our example here for the chat client. Let me show you the chat client. It's a simple HTML. Okay. So in here, um, I have this HTML page. This is referencing a webchat.js and from the Plot framework. Okay, I have some parameters which are given. Now, what is important here is that when you are creating a direct line, so this is a token, right? What you can do, how you can find token is that I click on the direct line here Okay, there's the default side, and you click on the default side, you can see the secret keys here. What you can do is that you can copy this and go back to the page here and replace this here. Okay, so now once you have done that, what you can do is that you can go to the uh, file and just double click it. Once you double click it, the file gets open. You'll say, okay, how can I, what is AI search? How can I use it with LLM? So I can start searching here. So now this is the deployed bot. Okay. Uh, Now, if you want to try in, as I was saying, like, there are many channels which you can leverage and create your uh, chat clients. So I have tried Teams as well. It works well. It works fantastic actually. So Teams and yeah, of course the direct line web chat and all are fine. So this is how you use bot services and perform a search which internally goes to the AI search and also the Azure OpenAI LLM. If you found this video helpful, give it a like and consider subscribing. Until next time, take care. Thank you for watching.